Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Joe here from Merch University, and I just want to start doing some interviews and finding entrepreneurs who are doing this. Oh, what's up?
Did we cut out?
Sorry, that was me.
I was like, it got all weird for a second.
Yeah, I got weird. But today we got Jamison here today. Jamison Philippi. What's going on, man?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing today?
And we just want to talk about, like being successful and, or just being, a hardworking entrepreneur, mainly. That's kind of why we brought you on here. I've known Jamison for a while now, maybe 4 years, maybe probably 5 years, probably about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, 4 years, I think.
Yeah, like 4 years ago. And you know what? I just thought of this. I remember when I started the Greene Room, that's how we know each other, is from, it's a reselling group. And I remember when I first joined the Greene Room, Jamison is the one who reached out to me, and me and him would just start having just Google Hangouts all the time. And I think me and him were both doing eBay at the time. And man, he was living with a friend in there, I think Nashville, and
Yep.
He was just kind of I actually had a job, but he was trying to work on this full time, and kind of struggling doing full time and trying to hustle. But and he's come a long way in 4 years. So what would you say?
Yeah, I upgraded to bottled water. No, yeah, it's been a crazy ride. Yeah, I remember how we met. I don't even remember how we met. I know it was in the Greene Room. I just don't remember like how we started talking. But yeah, I remember like we used to jump in Google Hangouts, and you'd be at work at your job at your desk, and people would be like come in the door, like knock on the door and like need you for help and stuff. And I remember we used to just talk about Amazon and eBay and like share stuff we were finding. And I think at the time you were like flipping like postcards or something, I think.
Oh, I was doing like around the corner from me where I worked. There was like I worked in a small town, and there was hardly anything to like thrift. There was no thrift stores. There was like a Walmart there, but there was like a thrift mall around the corner. And I found like these old like postcards that were pretty much postcards. And I was selling them for I was buying them for $1, but they had artwork on the back of them. I was selling them for $1. I was selling them for $15. And so that's what I was doing at the time. And I think actually the time that I got in the Greene Room was because I started selling like men's like suits. I think me and you were both trying to sell suits.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's crazy from back in the day, just trying to sell them. But I noticed recently that you've been you've been posting a lot of stuff, kind of like a little bit about your story, and when you used to work as a waiter, and just like the struggles of that, and then now how you're like putting all that, you put all that behind you, and now you're full time. Are you on the road currently right now? Where are you at now?
I'm in Minnesota, but I'm on the road right now. I was traveling up north and just like hitting rural stores and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just like traveling around the state right now.
But you're originally from Minnesota, right?
Yes, this is my home state. Yep.
All right. So now you're just So how long have you been on the road actually?
I left the day after Christmas, 2000, I guess last year, 2017. And I've pretty much been on the road like 90% of the time since then.
Wow. So how does that feel, just being on the road? Kind of tell people what you do and why are you on the road?
Right now, I mean, obviously, I'm sure most of the people watching know that I do Amazon FBA full time, for the most part on the road, living in and out of hotels, Airbnbs, and I do meet up with other resellers on the way, and sometimes I'll crash on their couch for free. So that's always a bonus. But yeah, I'm pretty much just hitting the Walmart's targets like a lot of other people, trying to hit my sales goals and just make things happen.
And where you're at now, was it always, how long did it take you to become to like where you think you're at now, and just like to become a full-time entrepreneur?
I mean, I started Amazon. I guess technically I was full-time when I started because I didn't have a job. I was trying to find jobs at that time, and I was just doing the eBay and then like switching to Amazon just to kind of help pay my bills and so I could eat and stuff like that. And so it kind of just like couldn't find a job anywhere. Nobody would want to hire me. I guess I wasn't qualified to push carts at Walmart. So I just kept grinding out the FBA and then that eBay and I guess this could almost say it happened on accident. But I was just trying to pay the bills and nobody would give me a chance to hire me. So I just kept grinding it out and kept hitting roadblocks and things kept getting in the way. And I kept getting hit, financially. And like, it was very, very hard for the first like 2 years to really get momentum going and growing. And now I'm starting to really, reach the next level.
What do you think was like, became the foundation? Was it like, was it other people that kind of influenced you, or was it like you yourself had to be like, you started watching like videos, or what kind of gave you that push to stay on track? Because a lot of people would have given up a long time ago.
I started to really started to reach that next level when I just kept hitting hurdles and like having struggles. Like, I'll just let this one, I had like a family member of mine that kept at the time we shared a bank account because I had bad credit and I had, my past, all my bank accounts went negative. So I was sharing a bank account with a family member and my Amazon FBA payments were going into that bank account. And they kept overdrafting the account, gambling the money away at the casino. So then when my Amazon payment would come through, guess where my Amazon payment went? Pay those overdraft fees and to pay the negative. So I would get a payment for $2,000. That would end up with a couple $100 at the end. And that really just kept hitting me. And I literally multiple times I almost lost everything. And then as I started to grow, get into the green room and meet more positive influences, I just started to realize that I need to remove the negative BS out of my life and the people that are holding me back. And then once I started to remove those people out of my life, I really started to gain momentum and get a better mindset and stay positive and actually learn to grow this and not let those people affect the way I run my life or my business.
Yeah, you always hear that quote that everybody quotes. It's you become the top 5 people, or you become the people who you're hanging around with or talking to.
You're the average of your 5 best friends, something like that.
Yeah, there it is. The average of your 5 best friends, and and so and I see that too. And it helps to be a part of a group, a part of the green room, and there are a lot of influential people in there, who just kind of maybe they're not trying to do that, but they just become that for me, for you, for everybody. And actually there's a lot of successful people in there who are willing to share tons of information.
Exactly.
And so, but I also noticed that you've been going to a lot of conferences. I made the little thumbnail for this video, and it's of you at a Tony Robbins, a concert or whatever.
Oh yeah, Tony Robbins concert.
And so, what other kind of people like that influence you?
As far as those type of people, I'm really into Gary Vee, Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, Warren Buffett type stuff. And then I'm just really in the stage of my life where I'm trying to get around people that are trying to do extraordinary things in life. I don't want to look back on my life when I'm gonna die. So I would imagine almost every person goes through this and they just have regret. I was watching a Gary Vee video the other day. He was go down to the local nursing home. He was volunteer down there. He's you can talk to the majority of those. He's a good portion of those people in there, and they're going to talk to you about regrets. At their stage in their life, it might be too late for them to do things, and I don't want to have that in my life. So I'm really just trying to so that's why I'm going to the Tony Robbins events, and I do want to go. I'm going to go to more so I can get around people that are really trying to improve their lives and help improve other people's lives and get into other things.
I know actually a lot of people probably think, oh man, those are thousands of dollars to go to. Is it even worth it for me to even go to those things? And what would you say since you've already been?
It really depends on your financial situation. FBA thing. So you can go to one of those Tony Robbins things for a lower tier ticket. I think it's $500, which is a lot of money, but luckily I can do Amazon on the road. So I bought my ticket, and then after the event, I stayed in town for a week and I sourced, and I think I probably made $3,000, $4,000 or something like that. So after all my expenses, I pretty much paid for my trip. by staying there to shop. So for me, it was free in the end. And not to mention, I got free knowledge out of it. I was able to meet up with like a couple, one or two green room members and like, you know, exchange things, hang out. And so like, to me, like the knowledge is irreplaceable. So that's what I'm after, is like learning new things. And
didn't you just recently go to a conference recently there in Minnesota?
Yeah, it was a Midwest Ecom, local one that they do locally in Minneapolis. I think they've been doing it a few years now, and I've never gone to it because I've always been out of town. And every year when they did this conference, the Green Room meetup was going on. So I was never able to go to this one because Green Room, I'm going to pick that over everything else. But since the Green Room meetup changed this year, I was able to attend this one. It's like a smaller conference. I think it was like 80 people, something like that. But like I met a handful of awesome people, and like I went sourcing with new people and stuff like that. And it was actually really awesome. I learned a ton and made a few new friends.
Yeah, that's always fun, is going to these conferences. You know, we had the Green Room meetup was last month, and so it's always fun to go to these, just because maybe like the first year you go, I think me and you came and saw me before the first year. I think I went, maybe, yeah. And then so I knew you, and I knew Resell Rabbit down there, and so I was able to hang out with you guys. But then this is my fourth year going, and so when I went this time, you know, I knew like 100 people, so it was just it's like a big summer camp, you know. So
yeah, I always look forward to going every year. That's like one of my favorite events to go to.
Yeah, it's almost like it's become like a family reunion, you know, just to get to know all these people, and especially for you, because you get to travel, so we're spread out throughout the whole country, so you can stop wherever you want and get to see everybody. So that's pretty awesome. What I know you've always told me, and I've always seen like your videos where you were always trying to eat healthy, and you always had like these habits. And do you have like a daily routine where, you know, you're like, you wake up and you do this, and this before you even start your day? And, you know, how has that like made you like a better, like, you know, helped you like just with your business?
I used to be really big into like my morning routine and you know, like doing my morning ritual, and like before I would leave the house, I would have to do all these things before I was able to leave. I did fall off of that, so I'm in the process of rebuilding that. Like it's a slow process. Like I don't like to jump in. Like I used to do my morning routine. It would take me 3 hours every morning before I started my day. Get up at 6 a.m. and like from 6 to 9, I would be doing my workout, reading books, you know, reading my Bible, eating a healthy meal, making juice, you know, shakes and stuff like that, smoothies. But I did fall off of that. So now I'm in the process of doing it again right now. I just bought a journal the other day. And basically right now, like just when I wake up, is the first thing I do is I smile for a whole minute. I just like stare in the mirror and I smile, which sounds kind of weird, but it does help. Like it does, you do start to feel better when you do that. And then I do have a sheet of paper where I just read off some things like, you know, like you are an all-star, like just type stuff like that, just to kind of like this. That's like what you think you become. So like I'm in the process of rebuilding my morning ritual, but like it's just little things. Like it takes me like 10-15 minutes in the morning to do, and it does help me feel better throughout the day.
Yeah, that's so true. I've heard that with like to get up and, you know, tell yourself in the mirror, and, you know, everything you say. Actually, I recently came across this new guy named Jim Quick. I haven't heard of him before, but he's all about whatever you tell yourself, you know, that's what your brain's going to take hold of. And, you know, if you tell just for example, he said, like, if you tell yourself you're not going to remember anybody's name, then you're not going to remember anybody's name, you know. But if you keep telling yourself like positive things, you know, that's what you're going to remember, and that's how you're going to focus. And so, yeah, I've also been recently starting, you know, like a little morning routine also. So, and I could tell it kind of helps jumpstart your day and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, totally.
Let me look over here in the comments here. We got a lot of people in here that came to see Jamison today. Let me see here. We can shout out to Helen Kinson, the Real Iron Dan, Jennifer, Heather the Reseller Spotlight, Lord Ahab, Alex, our fellow Greene members, Cecilia, Bentley. He says he's watching from Florida to Georgia. Christian, what's up? Let's see here.
That guy's bad news.
Global merchandise. He says he knows you from Instagram, Jay. Jamison, the number one jabroni from the Iron Man. Actually, yeah. I remember Dan at the green room, and he was wearing all these jabroni shirts. So I need to get one of those. So yeah. If you guys got any questions for Jamison, I know we all kind of know each other. There's some new people in here that hasn't commented. Go ahead and comment, whatever. But yeah, that's kind of like one of my main reasons for bringing Jamison on is just that I've got to see like his growth and where he's at and how much without saying like how much money you make, but like what percentage of like what were you making before to like percentage wise are you doing like 4 years ago? If you were making like you were doing 100% then, so are you doing like 5,000% better than you were before a long time ago, or or just money wise, to survive?
Yeah. I mean, like it like to start out, like I know a lot of the resellers I've spoken to, hundreds of them, like a lot of people don't have much money to invest, and I've said my story a billion times, so I don't like repeating it because it's like the same thing over and over. But like I started with nothing. Like you literally could start with the garbage around your house and flip that, But yeah, I started with absolutely nothing. I mean, I was living on the floor when we used to do the Google Hangouts. I didn't even have a bed. Like I literally had like a couple blankets that I rolled out next to the computer, and I slept on the floor, and I'd wake up and I would roll my blankets up and throw them on the side of the computer desk, and I'd get to work right away. Like, yeah. I mean, yeah, so I think multiple times I've given you a tour of the room I had. I worked out of a room, no bed. I didn't even have car insurance on my car at the time. No, like I was broke. And I just grinded and hustled, and a lot of people did start FBA at the same time as I did back then, and some of them like they're not doing it anymore because it just wasn't for them, or they just couldn't figure it out. I don't know. I got lucky, maybe, I'm not sure, but yeah, I definitely am doing a lot better now as far as just like going at it. So, but I'm still every day's a grind, so still working.
That's good, man. That's good to hear. I know that. Yeah, every day is a grind too. Even just trying to want to provide and actually want to live like the entrepreneur life. A lot of people, actually a lot of people that are watching, that's what they're doing now. They're all we're all entrepreneurs, whether we're doing FBA, whether we're doing merch or anything, all kinds of business, Etsy and, Pinterest or, just selling like everywhere. So yeah, it takes a lot, but it also just, it takes your mindset, and it just takes hard work. And if you stick with it, I think that everybody can overcome, So.
Exactly.
But that's all I want to have you on the show for. Just, get something like short and sweet out there, just to, maybe hopefully this kind of motivated somebody, and to know that, if you do struggle, just to push through that. What would you say, like, kind of helped you push through it? What would you say?
I mean, to be honest, like for me, like it's easy in a sense, like is you just got to figure out what's important to you and like figure out like why you're doing it. Like to be honest, like if your reasons why you're doing it is like, cause like, and I don't mean to sound like a jerk. Like to me, I don't understand why people can't do it. Cause like, I mean, I don't know, everybody's different, but like my why of why I'm doing my things in my life, like just make it easy, I guess. Like, I don't know. I don't mean to sound like a weirdo or a jerk or anything. Like, just figure out what's important to you and why you're doing it. And there shouldn't be anything that can stop you from doing it. Like, that's the way I look at it.
And you didn't have anything else. I think that was part of your why. Like, this was it, like nobody wanted to hire you. And, this was a great opportunity.
I mean,
yeah.
And so, like, I do have a chip on my shoulder for that. And like, I think I told you this before too, is like when I first started out, I would be in all those free Facebook groups. Hey guys, how do you do this? How do you spell Amazon.com? How do you log into your code? Like, I'm sure I asked the most ignorant, dumb questions, but like, I even like got to the point where I was like, hey guys, like I can't figure out how to do this. I'll pay somebody to help me. And like, I mean, I only remember the rude comments, obviously only remember like people that were mean to me about it and just like rude. And so like, that really made me have, like, I'm thankful that those people were jerks to me, because that like made me work harder because I like just wanted to shove it in all their faces, like, see, now I'm doing better than all you guys, like type thing, because they were just like, people were jerks.
Yeah,
like,
people are jerks.
Like people were really mean, like, and so I just like wanted to like do this really well and then help people. And because people didn't help me, and like at the time, obviously there was not many YouTube videos 4 years ago, and there wasn't courses and stuff like that. So there wasn't a ton of people that I knew were doing it, or they weren't like out in the open about it. So it was kind of like a learning process on my own.
That's true. There's a lot of haters, and even with having Merch University, like I even, I try not to get people ask, like everybody's joining new every day. Everybody's joining FBA every day. Everybody's joining Merch every day. So you're going to get those questions, and so that's what, for me, learning and asking those questions myself. I always try to be honest and just try to help people and know where they're coming from. Because it's hard, at the beginning. So.
Amen.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll try to have. Maybe we'll get the real Iron Man, Iron Dan, on here. He's been talking some smack, so maybe we'll have him next. Maybe after that we'll get Alex and Heather on here and Christian, and so get on here, talk about your own stories.
I'm really reaching here.
No, I know everybody teases you all the time, Jamison, and the one name they're always calling you is Tank. It's so funny. We'll just leave that. If you want to know more about that, you got to join the green room. But that's all we'll talk about. All right, guys. You guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.